thought we did some good things Tuesday night against a really good team on the road. And defensively, I thought we were really good. We had been good the previous week. I thought we took it to another level the other day. Thought we were able to get some key stops. And the consistency of our defensive effort throughout was really good. We competed at a really high level. Thought our connection was good out there at both ends of the floor. The 18 assists, the ball movement, the way we shared the ball, I thought was good. And then obviously second half we started making some shots again, which certainly helps. And shot 50-some% from the field, 40-some from three, and did some good things. Each game we look at independently. Now we got to come back and have, certainly from a mindset perspective, a physicality, a toughness mentally, a connection. Got to bring that again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. That's a choice. We got to be ready to go. And some of the other things maybe you don't control as much all the time, shot making, stuff like that. But we can control those things. And I thought we really made a lot of progress in those areas from a consistency standpoint. We've had some of those things, certainly at times. But throughout the course of a 40-minute game, I thought it was, as complete that we've been maybe in those two areas of, just being connected at both ends of the floor, our competitiveness, our resiliency, the way we shot the ball early, scoring 4 points in 6 or 7 minutes. We kept defending. We didn't allow that to affect us. I thought that then they took the lead 2 different times there in the second half, and I thought our resiliency was really good. So it's just something we got to build on those things. Obviously got Penn State tomorrow, who beat us in game 1, and got us pretty good in the first half. Second half we played really well. Just didn't have enough time and gas there at the end, and give them credit. They made a few more plays in the last 2 or 3 minutes than we did. Once it got cut to 3 there a couple different times, and so great challenge. They're athletic. They're long. They're coming off a great win. They beat Maryland at home, played well. Watch that film. Their young guys continue to really grow and improve. They're really good defensively. Great length, shot blocking, and good in and around the rim. So we've got to execute well and make sure that we're really, really sharp on that end of the floor tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Questions?
John, your defense has been better for a few games here. What do you see, and what's making you more effective?
A lot of different things, Tup. I think guys know what they're doing more, especially the young guys. And I think, certainly I'll give, I think Hill has done a great job of really expending a lot of energy defensively. And he's had a lot of different matchups throughout the course of this defensive progress that we've seen. He's guarded point guards, 2s, 3s. We've moved him around. He exerts a lot of energy at both ends of the floor for us. And defensively, I think he's really playing some of his best defensive basketball that he's played in his career. Tijon at the point has been really good on the defensive grade out, as high as any freshman at this stage for a perimeter player that we've had at either of my 2 stops. It's been really neat to watch his improvement and growth. And then his toughness on the ball, I think, sometimes you have a point guard that can be tough on the ball like he is. He really is good on the ball. It's kind of like the front porch of your defense. Really sets the tone. I think our guys feed off of that. Kipper's done some great things for us defensively with his size, his athleticism, his body, his strength, and his versatility, a little bit like Hilltop, to put him on different guys, I think has been good for our defense. And then, again, the bigger thing, I started out with just guys understanding what they're supposed to do more. They're better at it. They're executing it better. You kind of put all those things into a hat and mix it up. Then I think those are some of the reasons why, we've improved defensively. Certainly the statistics show that. It was something that we obviously talked a great deal about earlier in the year. In here, and rightly so, but I do think we've gotten a lot better and been able to play really good defensively against some really good offensive teams. So hopefully that's given our guys some confidence and belief in that end of the floor, because that's the one thing. If you can play that in like that, that gives you a chance night in, night out. You got a shot, If you can rebound and defend like that, and our guys know that, and I think they're starting to get some more confidence in that end of the floor.
John, given where you were the last couple of years with numbers, the strength in numbers mindset, it makes a lot of sense. But after that 8-man rotation, are you figuring out that maybe a smaller, does it work better? Or is that just one game?
The other night, obviously, we had in our mind that we were going to play certain guys. I said this first as we rotated them in on certain matchups and how we wanted to play, and then we were going to play it by ear like we have. And those guys the other night got it done, so we felt like we wanted to continue to play those guys, but by no means is, that mean it's going to be 8 and the minutes are going to be identical, every game, and, that's not the way it works. So, but I did like the 8-man rotation the other day for that game, Jeremy. I thought it was really good. I thought the guys did a good job at both ends of the floor, and, we'll see if we can obviously build on that.
Coach, I know you were just over here. I know you were, you just mentioned, obviously, rotations and matchups and things. Starting Aaron Jordan and playing him 4 minutes, did you expect that it would be that small a number there?
No. No, I didn't. Did not. And obviously, we started playing some other guys and rotated them in. They played really well. Yeah, played really well. So that was more of a, game management decision.
Coach, back to Tijon's defense. Did you know that you were getting that from him when you recruited him? Obviously, he was a talented distributor.
Yeah, knew he would be good on the ball, Derek. You could see that. He's a tough kid, physically, mentally tough. But you never really know until you coach a guy on a daily basis how quickly he's going to pick things up, especially off-the-ball defense, And he's picked things up very quickly. He's great basketball instincts and understands and values that end of the floor. And sometimes that's, as you've been in I've been in a while, sometimes it's hard to get freshmen to buy into that end and value that end as much or more than they do the other end. And he's been really good with that and has bought into that. And it's a big reason why I think he's made a lot of progress.
Let's go back to Aaron a little bit. What had he done leading up to Tuesday's game where you wanted to maybe get him in there early? And what have you maybe just seen from him over the course of the season where his minutes have kind of gone up and down?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with him is Aaron, from an effort standpoint and an attitude standpoint, is just tremendous. And, have been rock solid and steady. And it was just a decision that I made that I thought was best for our team at that time.
John, you say each game's independent, but big smiles walking off the court the other day. Does any of that carry over? Does it? Obviously, you hope some of it does.
Well, you hope it does. Obviously, I thought our guys, competed and went through a lot. Last week we didn't play on the offensive end or shoot the ball as well as we would have liked to, and the kids defended their butts off in those 2 games. And not all the time do you get rewarded, Jim, for that. That's it's part of the nature of athletics and what we do. The other day we did. The second half we made shots and the ball moved and had synergy and we made some of those. Did we have just as good as shots in the Minnesota game when J. Cole and Hill were 0 for 15? Yeah, probably did. Just didn't go in. So it just is what it is. But for the kids' sake, I was glad to see a few of them go in and continue to play the way they played defensively, and the resiliency, I think, Jim's what stood out. Because we started the game, we missed a couple layups. We had 4 points, 6.5 minutes into the game, and still just kept fighting. And then I thought the second half played really well, and then they take the lead. Then our resiliency that the guys showed down the stretch to compete and get stops and make some finish some plays to win the game, I thought was huge. And you do hope that, certainly mentally and physically that we can build on that.
John, the other night there wasn't the one guy with 28 points, but there was a little here, a little there, a little more here. And we've talked about Tijon and Malcolm and Finke and a lot of people, but haven't talked too much about J. Cole. But he had an interesting game where he did a little more here and a little more there than we've maybe seen from him. How did you feel about his
I felt great about it. I told him after the game, I said, it's maybe the most complete game you've played since you've been here. I thought defensively he was solid. Made a few mistakes here and there that we worked to get cleaned up yesterday and today through film and meeting with him. But he was solid on that end of the floor, came up with 5 rebounds, had 5 assists, 0 turnovers, thought his shot selection was great, and just played the game the right way. And you're right, Tup, he impacted the game rebounding, he impacted the game on defense, he impacted the game with what we call Matto plays or physical plays. He made guys better, he made key shots. You know, he played an all-around game. I think that's a great observation. I thought it was as complete a game as he's played since he's been here.
And the first time against Penn State, Garner and Banks maybe took opportunities of those open shots they got and made them. How do you maybe see your improved defense over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, kind of matching up this time around?
Yeah, well, hopefully, the second half we defended them well or better. The 2 home games we were good, as we just talked about defensively the other day. We were good. We got a little traction there. But you're right, Scott. We've got to defend much better than we did in the first half. Give them credit. They made some. I thought rewatching it, especially heading into this one, they made some tough shots. They've got some very talented offensive. Carr's good. Garner's good. Banks makes threes. They've got a lot of really, really good offensive players. Stevens is playing well lately. He was great in the game at Indiana that I watched on film. He was great in their win over Maryland the other day, 20-plus in both those games. So they've got good players, and sometimes, you get good players, they make shots. And at the end of the day, though, I thought we had much more bite in the second half of that game, and that's continued since, and we're going to need to have that again, because if you allow them to be comfortable, those guys are really talented, and they will make plays.